It's the Kyle Hyman Show on Redeemer Radio.
This is Kyle Hyman, and joining us to talk about the South Bend March for Life and really why we need to have these marches, why they're so important, is Jackie Appleman. Thanks for being here, Jackie.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I thought first to kind of set up the scene, you have this audio clip that I think is so powerful. It's about 2 minutes long, but it really helps set the scene of why this is important. So why don't we go ahead and play that clip?
Great, sounds good.
Right where you are, I just want you to, right there in your seats, just shut your eyes. What you're about to hear are the sounds of metal BBs striking the side of a tin can. For every BB that strikes, it represents 10,000 lives lost in the wars of America's past. 10,000 lives for every BB. This is the reality of what is occurring in your country. The American Revolution, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, the Korean conflict, the conflict in Vietnam, September 11th and the War on Terror. Since 1973, the War on the Unborn Child. God help us.
I remember the first time I heard that a while back. It's such a powerful demonstration of why we need to have these marches. I don't think we realize the gravity of abortion sometimes and how many people are affected by this, not just those that are the victims, but people that are having the abortions, people that are supporting abortions, people that are working at places that are providing abortions. Do you think that the average person realizes how big of a deal this is?
No, I don't think they do. And it's a very sobering reality. And I think there's a lot of uncomfortableness surrounding it. So people don't like to talk about it. And so it's really hard to get education out about it. But it's just amazing. I mean, 46 years ago, it became legal to kill the child in your womb for the entire 9 months of pregnancy. And since then, millions of women have been manipulated into thinking it's an empowering decision. And every person is hurt by it, either directly or indirectly. Obviously, the baby's hurt by it. You know, the mom is hurt, siblings, the father, this society and community as a whole. Everybody's affected by this.
And you mentioned 46 years. This is the 46th anniversary of Roe versus Wade. Legalizing abortion in America. We've had marches and protests all over the country ever since. Why do you think abortion is still legal in this country?
That's a great question. I think, the abortion industry is very good about hiding the truth of what abortion is. So I think, people are lied to and manipulated so they don't understand the grave reality of it. Unfortunately, this has turned into a political issue. And so you add politics into anything and it convolutes it and makes anything challenging to get done. I think the biggest thing is that we've just been blind to the reality of it. And science and technology has changed a lot, progressed a lot in the last 46 years. And more science is proving what pro-lifers have said all along, that life begins at conception. You know, you have a heartbeat within weeks of conception. You have all the DNA you'll ever have at the moment of conception. You know, you start seeing their little hands and feet within weeks. And, I'm not sure that people were aware of the reality of the humanity 46 years ago, but it is completely unavoidable now to see that truth backed by science. And so I think a lot of pro-lifers are really hoping, especially with the new justices in the Supreme Court, that there's a chance to try to get Roe v. Wade overturned. So I think we're closer today than we ever have been before.
And so maybe some people would say, it's been 46 years. We haven't seen really much progress on this. Why march in one of these marches if it doesn't seem to make a difference? Do you see it as making a difference, having these marches?
Yes, I do. I think we have made progress. I know we're not where we want to be, but if Roe v. Wade gets overturned, it's not going to make abortion illegal. Just give the power back to the states,
right,
to make their decisions. And I think that a lot of states that don't want abortion have been putting, more and more restrictions on abortion and taking back that control over it. We used to have an abortion clinic in South Bend that, because of our voice and our advocacy, that we got them removed and have kept them out for the last 3 years. And again, because of our voice and advocacy, we are keeping out another clinic that is trying to come into our community. Because of our vote, we have a Supreme Court that has the potential now to overturn Roe v. Wade. Our day-to-day actions and conversations, we're changing hearts and minds, one person at a time in our community. Your presence, your voice, your advocacy does make a difference, and it is important. And to be able to show, another thing is the media likes to portray their reality. And the reality is that there, are millions of people that oppose abortion. And if we don't keep talking about it and keep raising our voices and showing America that we do not want this, then we'll never stand a chance. But I do believe that there is hope, and we are making progress, and we just need to keep fighting the fight.
We're talking with Jackie Appleman about the South Bend March for Life, which is going to be on Friday at 11:30 a.m., and that's this coming Friday, January 18th. And you mentioned that the South Bend Abortion Clinic closed around 2015. Shortly before that, the Fort Wayne Abortion Clinic closed 2013. You mentioned the new clinic has been denied an application even after appeals process. Can you give us the state of things in Michianna right now for the pro-life movement?
In regards to that clinic specifically?
Sure. It seems to kind of be going in and out of court over and over and having issues with their institution in a place, but also the pro-life being able to set up in certain locations and stuff like that. So what's the latest?
Yeah, so the last news that came out of Whole Woman's Health appeals process is that the latest appeal was taken to a panel, and that panel appealed the previous admin judge's recommendation. So that panel basically said that the state was correct in denying their application. Now, Whole Woman's Health has until, I believe, the end of next week to appeal that. And if they do, it will go to Marion County Court. The pro-life group in Michianna, the pro-life community has been outstanding in showing their support for supporting women in their pregnancy and their motherhood, and saying that we do not need nor want abortion in South Bend. We have a women's care center that's opening up on the west side where the Whole Woman's Health wants to open, so that they're expanding their support for women in our community. So it's been really amazing to watch various pro-life groups, even getting the youth involved. We've had high school and college groups getting involved and voicing their opposition to a clinic as well. It's been really wonderful to see the unity and solidarity of the community come out of this.
And since surgical abortions are not happening in the Michiana area right now, why do you think it's important that people still come out and participate in a March for Life?
Yeah, A, for preventative work to keep them out, because we continuously need that. But B, the threat is not completely eradicated. Women can now buy abortion pills online and do abortion in their home, up to 10 weeks. And so that is a very serious threat that has gained a lot of traction in the last couple of years, and it's something we can't track. The only thing we can do is really educate people on the dangers of that, let them know that it's happening, and call for regulations on telemedication and buying those pills online. So the threats are continuous, and we need to be aware and stay on top of it.
What else is happening with the St. Joseph County Right to Life?
Yeah, so Friday the rally's at 11:30, and we'll have a great testimony from Aileen Hurd, who is a sibling of an aborted child. We'll have the march at noon, and then that evening at 6:30, the Knights of Columbus is hosting a spaghetti dinner fundraiser. So you can come on out and have some spaghetti, come in fellowship, and all the proceeds will go to St. Joseph County Right to Life. In February, we have a boot camp it's the Life Defenders Boot Camp, and that's to help people learn how to talk about the pro-life movement and what it means to be pro-life and why you're pro-life in a loving, respectful way, and really prepares people to have those conversations who are either undereducated about the issue or are pro-choice. And then in April, we have a prayer dinner. So we don't do anything without God. So we all come together in prayer in April and pray for women in crisis pregnancy and our lawmakers and for just the pro-life movement in general. And we also like to get our youth involved. So we have a couple scholarships ranging from $150 to $750. And so we like to see our youth stand up in their pro-life solidarity as well.
Great. And are any other ways that people can get involved? Any other needs for the St. Joseph County Right to Life?
I think the biggest thing is coming to our events. We're always looking for volunteers. We also take donations, keep the lights on, and continue our educational campaigns. And the biggest thing that I ask people is don't be afraid to have these conversations with people around you, with your family, with your neighbors, with your friends, with your coworkers, and in a loving, respectful, understanding way. We can change laws all we want, but that's not going to stop people from having abortions. We need to change hearts and minds, and we do that with the people we're connected to and with those one-on-one conversations. And so if you need support in being able to do that, we've got the resources to do that, literature and our boot camp and that kind of thing. But I can go out and put as many billboards up as possible, but you're going to touch people in those one-on-one connections and conversations. And so I really encourage everybody to go out and speak and live the pro-life values, and that's how we'll change our community and our culture.
All right. So important. Check it out. It is Friday at 11:30 a.m., the South Bend March for Life and Rally. You can find information about that and more stuff going on at prolifemichianna.org. But again, show up Friday at 11:30 for that. Just a heads up, the Allen County March for Life is January 22nd, so that'll be next week. That's Saturday at noon. But come if you can, Friday, South Bend March for Life, 11:30. And you can find more information at prolifemichianna.org. Thank you so much, Jackie, and keep up the great work.
Great. Thanks for having me.